Popular sovereignty also had an impact on social legislation. 19th century liberals wanted to use government action as a positive force, not just take away obstacles to individual advancement, but use the government to stop abusive political and economic decisions. So at the beginning of the 19th century, liberals favored laissez-faire, right? Getting the government out of economics. Because that was really an attack on mercantilism, how merchants used governments to subsidize their activities and to promote their monopolies. That was the big push at the beginning of the 19th century. As more and more workers gained access to the ballot, they realized they could use political, legislative powers to improve their own lives. One big area of improvement was protecting workers from harm. And so they demanded and got a workers' compensation program that protected workers when they got hurt on the job. First opened up to industrial trades in 1897. So if they got hurt in a factory, lost a finger, lost an eye, lost an arm, they wouldn't lose their income. In 1900, that was expanded to agricultural workers. Once again, lost a finger, lost an eye, lost a toe, if they came physically disabled at the workplace, they would keep a steady source of income. They had workers' compensation insurance. They were compensated for any injuries in the workplace. In 1906, this was just to all workers, right? It was no longer specialized. Anyone who got hurt on the job could have this insurance and protect them from long-term disability. 1908, the government proposes a school lunch program, feeding children at school. Now, obviously, this would help a starving child, but it also then encourages parents to send their kids to school. Instead of putting a kid in the workforce or keeping the kid at home, child now goes to school, gets lunch, gets an education, and can better improve their own future. Same year, old age pensions. So that if someone were to live a long life, they wouldn't simply shrivel up and die when they're at home. Workers used government powers, government money to improve their own lives. Kings have been doing this for centuries. Pharaohs building pyramids, kings building palaces, kings raising armies. Workers demanded the government protect them from harm. Workers demanded government feed children, school lunch programs. Workers demanded that governments protect the elderly, senior benefits. And so government spending didn't go to palaces, didn't go to pyramids, they went to pensions and school lunches. This helped lift people up and create longer lives and more prosperity. Workers also demanded an end to laissez-faire. They wanted to make sure that businesses did not abuse the workplace. One of the direct results of this is unemployment benefits then. Business owners don't like unemployment benefits because they want workers motivated. If they fired a worker, they want them hungry to come back for a job. In a free market, unemployed is simply a labor supply. Right? People are simply a human resource. But that unemployed worker probably has a family, and that family then is going to go hungry. And workers wanted food. So one of the things to help with unemployment then was to create a labor exchange act so that workers could find jobs wherever they are in England. But that wasn't enough. And so workers demanded and got national unemployment insurance in 1911. So that if a person loses their job, they can still keep some sort of income, pay their rent, buy food. Now, it's not enough to compensate for the total loss of income, but it is enough to treat them like a human being. Workers used politics to improve their own lives. One big improvement was mandatory health insurance, 1911. They changed the taxation system from an excise tax, which taxed consumption, to a property tax, which taxed wealth. All of these changes were made possible because more people were voting.